Yeah.
Well, Brownie, that's 4 from 4 in the Premiership and second in the table tonight. It's a good place to be at the moment.
Yeah, I think we really targeted this game as an individual kind of big match, because I mean we talked about it a lot. There was no real need to look at some kind of motivation for Bath. It's always going to be a big fixture for us, but this one was going to be the banana skin, where we just had to sort of get ourselves up there, and I think that was a challenge first half. You know, definitely kind of get that motivation and really attack them, and really targeted keeping the tempo up. That's what came through, I think, second half, definitely.
Looking at this table and the results all season for London Welsh, on paper everyone was saying this was going to be an absolute home banker, but you don't play rugby on paper.
No, you don't. I think that's the thing. They're a good side. I mean, people credit where credit's due. I think we only get points to them and teams only score them because of that. They've done the hard work first of all, and you would have looked at that first half where boys really grafted, really put the effort in. I think that's where it pays off, is that we battered away at them, and then you get the results. It wasn't going to be an easy game. Certainly when they got the first few points, you know, it was going to be a tough game. And I think the boys, credit to our lot, that they really stuck out there and gave them a good game.
Rob always says that you don't go on roller coasters of emotion, and after Christmas, either side of it, where you'd lost 4 on the bounce, yeah. It was never go back and devise a new game plan. And likewise, you've won 4 on the bounce now. It would be keep your head on the game and feet on the ground, as it were.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I think it's something that we really started thinking of after those 4 games, is that, look, take each game as it comes each week, and don't really get ahead of ourselves and start thinking whereabouts we are. At the same time as well, you know, we've worked hard to get where we are in the Premiership table, so we do have some time mentality of thinking, look, someone's going to come along and push us back down, or are we afraid to lose a spot, instead of actually having that mentality, which I think we've started to take, it's come through now, of that, look, let's attack, let's take the points, take each game as it is, and start winning some rugby and start enjoying ourselves.
As someone who was a part of the LV Cup winning side last year, a massive game next week up at Leicester in the semi-finals, there's a real desire amongst this group to retain that trophy again. Yeah,
I think that's half the fun of it, that we're competing on 3 different fronts this year, and that's some part of the added challenge, and really gives boys, such as myself and other guys that haven't had as many minutes as you want to, you know, it gives you that chance to kind of look, put your hand up. It is a tough competition, as we've seen from last year, that it's no longer seen as sort of a competition to blood boys in, especially towards the end of the season when it starts getting serious at business end with semi-finals and finals. You start coming against some really tough teams that do put their starting
and
boys
no tougher than Leicester.
No, exactly, Leicester away. So, you know, I think we'll relish the challenge, definitely. And it's about sort of coming away from this and taking what we need from the game. But again, same as the Bath one, look, put it to bed, got the points. Let's learn from the mistakes we made, because it wasn't a perfect game out there today, and move on.
The boys have been talking for a number of weeks now that it's not just the 23 guys out there on the pitch, it's the 23 guys that are maybe off the field and mimicking team runs and all sorts during the week that are helping drive you forward on so many fronts as well.
Yeah, it's tough. I think it's really tough, and I had that start of the year that you've got to don't realise the impact you have as the boys not playing, and they're only as good as they've been pushed and they've trained. Yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, you put the work out there on a Saturday and that's what really matters. But as a team, you know, positivity-wise around the place is great, and it is tough. It's really tough for boys who are not involved to constantly go week in, week out there and batter themselves in training sessions, and really I think it's part of it of getting better and knowing your competition right. That's what I want to be. That's the spot I want to get to. So look, let me put pressure on the coaches and the other boys by performing well. And it starts on the training field and it comes into games. So yeah, I mean, long season, you do get those opportunities, but definitely it is tough on the boys who aren't playing. You know, so it's credit to them. You know, I think as this football, the names come about being called a wildcat. So I think it's one of those things that just keeps morale up when you're not playing, and getting the whole boys to sort of really give it to the starting 23 who are taking out there on the weekend. So.